I once read a sentence that touched a wound in me before I even knew how to name it. It said, "Expectation is a subtle form of violence." The first time I read it, I agreed immediately. I thought, yes, that is why it hurts. That is why expectations feel so heavy. But later, when I sat with myself a little longer, I realized something different. Maybe expectation itself is not always what hurts us. Maybe what scares us is what happens after we fail to meet it. I remember being young and coming home with a result that was not good enough. No one shouted. No one punished me openly. No one said anything cruel. They simply became silent for days. And somehow, that silence felt louder than anger. I followed them around the house. I tried to talk. I tried to act normal. But the feeling I received was this. I was there, but I had become invisible, as if one mistake had made me less worthy of being seen, as if disappointing someone meant I no longer deserved warmth. That feeling stayed in my body. So later in life, whenever someone expected something from me, my chest would tighten. Not because expectation was always dangerous, but because my body had learned what might come after disappointment. The coldness, the withdrawal, the silence, the feeling that love could disappear if I failed to be what someone needed. But expectations are not always bad. When someone has expectations of us, it can mean we matter to them. We have a place in their life. Our choices affect them. Our presence means something. A relationship with no expectations at all can sometimes be a relationship with no real closeness. Two people beside each other, but not truly touching each other's lives. So maybe the problem is not expectation. Maybe the problem begins when disappointment becomes punishment, silent treatment, emotional withdrawal, coldness, shame. A sigh that makes a child feel like their existence is a burden. Words that do not only say, "I am hurt," but instead say, "You are bad. You are selfish. You are not good enough. You have failed me as a person." Have you ever apologized, even when you were not sure you did anything wrong? Have you ever felt anxious the moment someone seemed unhappy, even when their mood had nothing to do with you? Have you ever wanted to say no, but felt a heavy fear in your chest, as if choosing yourself meant hurting someone else? I have. For a long time, I was terrified of disappointing people. I did not dare to refuse. I did not dare to disagree. I did not dare to choose a path if it went against what my family, my partner, my friends, or people important to me expected. I thought it was kindness. I thought it meant I cared. I thought I was being considerate. But later, I realized that sometimes it was not kindness. It was fear. Fear of being treated coldly. Fear of love being taken away. Fear of being seen as selfish, ungrateful, disloyal, or no longer good. There is a boundary I had to learn slowly. Other people are allowed to have expectations of me, and I am allowed to decide whether I can meet them or not. If I cannot meet them, they are allowed to feel disappointed. Disappointment is a human feeling. It is not wrong. It does not make them bad. But their disappointment is still their feeling. It does not automatically become my responsibility. I am responsible for my words, my actions, my honesty, my choices, the way I communicate, the way I treat people. but I cannot spend my whole life trying to control how everyone feels after every choice I make. I once knew someone who chose to stay in the city where she was building her life, instead of moving back home the way her family had hoped. Her family was disappointed. That was real. And she felt sad about it too. But she said something I never forgot. I can apologize if I once promised something different, but I cannot apologize for my mother's disappointment. That is her feeling, and she has the right to have it. That sentence was not cold. It was not heartless. She still loved her family. She still cared. She still wanted connection. But she no longer allowed someone else's disappointment to decide the entire shape of her life. I think many people spend years trying not to disappoint anyone, and slowly they become the version everyone else wanted: a good child, a good partner, a good friend, a good person, always agreeable, always careful, always easy to accept. But somewhere along the way, they lose the shape of themselves. Real maturity is not making everyone happy. Real maturity is being able to choose and accepting that your choice may make someone unhappy. Not to rebel, not to prove that you are right, but to keep something honest inside you alive. There is one difference that matters deeply. When someone says, "I feel disappointed about this," they are sharing a feeling. You can listen. You can reflect. You can take responsibility if you truly hurt them. But when someone says, "You are selfish, you are a bad person, you always disappoint me, you only care about yourself," that is not only a feeling anymore. That is an attack on your character. And those two things are not the same. You can respect someone's disappointment without accepting the way they use it to define who you are. You can say, "I understand that you are disappointed. I am willing to listen, but I do not agree with the way you are judging me." That sentence may feel terrifying if you learned early that love disappears when people are unhappy with you. But sometimes that is where freedom begins. Freedom is not living in a world where no one expects anything from you. A life with no expectations at all can become very empty. Freedom is when you no longer fear disappointing people so much that you abandon yourself. It is when you can love someone without turning their emotions into your prison. It is when someone feels disappointed and you can listen without collapsing. And if someone uses disappointment as a weapon, you can stay steady enough not to let it decide your worth. Maybe expectation is not always violence, but disappointment turned into punishment can leave a very deep wound. And healing begins when we learn this. Disappointing someone does not always mean we did something wrong. Sometimes it simply means we finally chose to live a little more truthfully.